All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something that is really, really important to your success. And that is called building an audience that actually converts. And this is something, it's a trap that I see so many entrepreneurs fall into. It's something that I see all the time, that people are doing these things and they're making the same mistake. They think that, man, if I could just get in front of a big enough audience, if I could just have enough of a social media following, I could make millions. I could make all this money. I could be ultra, ultra successful. And yet they're not quite understanding how this game really works. They're not quite understanding how the whole game of followers and social media actually matters in this whole big scheme of things. Now, here's the reality is you can have tens of thousands of followers on one of your social media accounts. That doesn't mean you have the good foundation for a business. That doesn't mean that you have an audience that will actually become customers. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how do you build an audience of people who actually will become clients, that, and not just people who hang around and watch stuff, not just people who are here, for other reasons and are just followers and are just doing things. And so here's the thing that we can all just admit about social media. And I think if we're all being really honest with ourselves, social media is a little bit of a dangerous, slippery slope, because what causes lots of attention on social media? Drama. Drama causes all sorts of attention, all sorts of followers, all sorts of people are attracted, to drama online. They're attracted, they are attracted to all sorts of conflict, emotional problems, big dramatic events. So what ends up happening is lots of people try to create drama. They try to create dramatic things in their life. They try and talk about things that are controversial. They try and talk about things that create lots of attention and do lots of things. And those things a lot of time are not related to anything in their business. I know someone who, shall remain nameless, but they were very, very good at social media. They were very, very gifted and skilled at building audiences, and they had a huge following online. But when I followed this person, I learned something very clearly, that the type of stuff that she was posting was drama. It was, oh my gosh, I got into a huge fight with my husband. I know there's lots of rumors that we're going to get divorced, and just going on and on about all this other drama. Or, there's rumors about an affair. I'm like, and people are tuning in to watch a soap opera. They're tuning in to follow this person who is constant drama, who is constantly putting out things about whatever the latest conflict is, whatever the latest drama is, whatever the latest rumor is. And half the time I wonder if this person was the one actually creating the rumors. As you're like, oh, there's rumors going around about us getting divorced. I'm like, after a while, I started questioning, are you the one starting the rumors just to create more drama, just so you can get more attention? And she did. She got massive amounts of followers. People were for the, for all the update on what's happening next in the soap opera. Or, I would know people who, and I know I'm treading on a little bit dangerous turf on this one, but I knew somebody who had a lot of mental illness and had a lot of mental challenges. And rather than get the appropriate help that they needed, rather than go out and get the get the support, get the help, get the things that they need to actually get themselves to a better place in life, they would go on social media and post how they're going to commit suicide. And this person would get massive amounts of interaction, massive amounts of feedback, massive amount of posting, of support. Don't do it. And obviously no one wanted her to do that, right? No one wanted that to happen. No one wanted these things to be going on. Nobody wanted to see that result for her. But again, she's getting lots of attention in a very unhealthy way. She's posting all sorts of drama, or people post about political things, and they post about all sorts of their political views. And, you know, politics is one of those high drama topics. You know, you pick a side and immediately half of the people out there are on the other side, because you're immediately picking a fight with a lot of people who are going to be mad and upset or fighting or what have you. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? You're getting a lot of attention, and you probably are getting a lot of followers. You know, if you're posting about your dating life, if you're posting about your political views, if you're posting about your marriage problems, if you're posting about all your personal problems, and you're creating lots and lots of drama, you're probably getting lots of clicks. You're getting lots of views. You're getting lots of attention, probably growing your followers. I mean, the whole Kardashian thing, think about that. They built this massive following based on all drama. That's the whole thing that they do. Just post endless drama and endless pictures of themselves. And not that I really follow them. Maybe they do more than that. I don't know. It's not something I really follow. It has zero interest to me. But what are you posting for? Why are you actually posting? Because here's the thing. If you are a person who's a coach, if you're a person you're trying to build a business and you're trying to create income from the skills that you have, from the work that you have, from the things that you do, people showing up to find out whether or not whatever the next update on the drama is probably aren't all that interested in being your client. And if you are the person that's always seemingly in the middle of things that are very unstable, you're always in the middle of things that are very much problems, is that even the person I'd want to hire to help me with something? Is that really the person I'd want to be working with? I know my answer would be no. I would look at it and go, no, I wouldn't hire you based on how you post. You're not a person that I feel like is stable. You're not a person that I feel like has really got it together. You're a constant challenge, and I honestly don't need those problems in my life. I don't need a whole bunch more. You know, I have enough of my own problems. I don't have to go pick up someone else's. And so what you're doing is these people, and so many times, are building these huge audiences, but they're not building audiences in a way that's going to build their business. And I will say this very clearly, and I've stood on this many times. I would rather have 100 people who are very, very much interested in what I'm doing, who very much are interested in the type of work that I'm doing, the content that I'm producing, the output that is out there, and doing the thing and being involved in the service that I'm providing. Like for me, I'd rather have 100 people who are very interested in building their own business and are very interested in it. I'm very attuned to it and saying, hey, I want to do this. I want to build my own business. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to become an entrepreneur, as opposed to 10,000 people who want to tune in for me to act crazy and watch me do all sorts of dramatic things, or watch me do all sorts of things that create controversy. Oh, can I see what you're going to say next? Can I see what the next drama-filled thing is going to be? Okay, you can do that. You can absolutely do that, and you'll get a lot of attention, but are you getting clients? And my answer would more than likely be no. More than likely, you're going to be out there and you're just going to get attention and you get clicks, but you're not going to get clients. And so you have to be very cognizant that more is not always the answer. Getting more people to follow you, more attention, more of this, more of that is not always the right answer. I've seen many times where, look, I've done enough public speaking over the years that I've been in those moments where I gave a talk to somebody and I've looked out in the audience and it wasn't a talk that I hadn't given before. It was absolutely a talk I had given before. And the audience looked at me like I had three heads. They just stared at me and were like, I don't even know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. And what I realized is this is absolutely not the right audience for me. These people they're not my avatar. They're not the people that are a good fit for what it is that I do. And then I've had other times where I gave that pretty much the exact same speech to a different audience and they were all over it. They were jumping up and down with excitement to become clients, to be, how do I work with you? How do we do this? How do we? They were the right audience for me. So it's not just about getting more followers. It's not just about building a bigger following. It's not just having more clicks, more likes, more whatever. Those are all the social media metrics that are out there. But it's also about getting the ones that are out of the right people. And again, there are roughly 8 billion people on the planet. You don't need anywhere close to all of them to build a successful business. If you had 2,000 people, you would have a rocking business. If you had 2,000 people out of that 8 billion who were absolutely dialed in and loved everything that you were doing and were buying all the stuff that you were putting out and were becoming clients, you would have a highly, highly successful business. You would be making loads of money, serving lots and lots of clients. You would have a team working for you and with you. You would have all sorts of success. Now think about the 2,000 percentage-wise to the 8 billion. It's a fraction, a small, small fraction of the total number of people out there. So we need to be less concerned building out those big numbers, less concerned about getting the huge volumes of clicks and the huge volume of followers, and more concerned about getting the right followers, getting the right people who are truly interested in doing the thing that we're talking about, who are truly interested in the work that we are involved in, because those are the things that are going to interest people. Those are the things that are going to cause people to want to actually work with us. And what's the point of doing all this? Do you want to do all this just to get attention? Do you want to do all this just to have somebody look at you? Is that your goal? You just want somebody to stroke your ego? Because if that's your case, okay, then you get what you get, but you're not going to get clients. If you actually want to build a business, if you actually want to get clients, you got to understand, who is our avatar? Who is that ideal client? Who are we trying to reach? And then we need to put ourselves in a position to attract those types of individuals and build an audience of those types of people. Because when you do that, now you have an audience that will buy. Now you have an audience that will convert. And that is a huge, huge factor. So how do you do this? How do you engage your audience with these things? How do you engage your audience with valuable content? How do you do these types of things? And so the thing is, we talked a little bit about it. You want to create content that is transformational, not just content for attention, which is the trap that so many people fall into. And again, we see all these people, they have these huge followings and they do all this stuff, but they're acting like it's just constant drama. And me personally, I look at it and go, yeah, I don't want this. I do not want all the drama. I don't want to be dealing with all of that stuff. That's not what I'm interested in. I want someone who can actually help me. So the types of things that you should be thinking about, the types of things that you should be focused on with your content is, A, are you educating? Are you teaching something that's actually valuable to you, to your audience? Is this something that your audience would go and look at and say, hey, that was helpful. That really helped me put another piece into the puzzle. I now understand things a little bit better because you shared that information. That's very, very useful. Is this stuff that's very relevant to them? When you think about what it is that you're doing and the problem that you're trying to solve for the other individual, are you helping them get there? Are you helping give them another piece of information, another little bit of training, another little bit of help, another bit of support that's going to help them reach the destination they're trying to get to? Because again, people are looking to do one of two things. They're either looking to solve a problem that they have, like something's wrong in their life and they're trying to get rid of that problem. They're trying to solve that issue. They're trying to get past it. Maybe they're unhealthy and they're trying to get back to being healthy again. They have a health problem. They're trying to solve the health problem and fix it so they can get back to living a healthy life again. Maybe they have financial challenges and they need to get themselves back on good financial footing again. They need to solve that problem. Maybe they're having relationship problems and they need to solve this so that their life can become less tumultuous and they can get back to having a happy, calm, peaceful life again so they can focus on other things. All of these are problems they can solve. Or maybe they have a goal they want to achieve. They want to start a business and they just don't know how to get there. Maybe they want to, build a new home. How do I build a home? Maybe they want to learn how to acquire a new skill. They have these goals that they want to achieve, and you can help them learn. You can educate them, and you can become a very valuable resource for them. They can look at you and go, wow, what you're sharing, what you're talking about, that is so helpful to me. That is really giving me so much help in getting towards where I want to go, towards solving my problem or towards achieving my goal. Then the next part of it is how to give them content that empowers them. And this is helping them believe success as possible. You can become a little more inspirational. This is where you can become a little more motivational. This is where you can tap into things and be like, hey, I know you can do this, and help them believe, because this is a huge part of the journey, is that you have people that learn about something and they may say, hey, you know what? I really want this. I want to start my own business. I want to be able to do this. This is my goal. But maybe they don't believe that they have what it takes. Maybe they don't believe that it's possible for them to achieve. Maybe they don't believe that this is something that they can do. It's going to be too much for them. It's going to be too difficult. They don't have the right skills. They don't have the right experience. They don't have the right resources, whatever it may be. And they may be looking at this going, I don't know. I hear you and this is helpful and I like it. I'm just not sure I could do it. I'm not sure I could be successful. So the next part of your content, you want to focus on making people believe that you can do this. Look at this person over here. They did it. And, if they did it, can't you do it? If they could achieve it, why can't you? They're no better than you are. They're no more talented. In fact, they're probably less talented than you are. They're less skilled. They're less resourced. And they still did it. So if they could do it, why can't you? And now you're empowering them. Now you're inspiring them. Now you're motivating them to not just learn, but to start taking action. You're encouraging them to take that next step. You're encouraging them to proceed with their goal. Not just being stuck with their problem forever, or not just thinking about their dream or their goal that they want to achieve and never actually attempting to do it, but actually taking an action step, actually moving in that direction and taking an action step to achieve it. And those things are incredibly valuable. Those things are incredibly helpful to them because it takes them not just from the knowledge base, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people will learn about something. They'll study something for a while. They'll learn about it. They'll engage with it, but they'll never get off the sideline. They'll stay on that sideline and they'll just be a passive observer, but never really engaging, never really stepping into that game to become a part of it, never really stepping into the game to engage at a higher level so that they will actually start taking action towards their goal. And that's sad because that means a lot of people stay stuck. A lot of people stay stuck in their problem. They have a drinking problem, and that drinking problem is causing a lot of issues in their life. It's causing them to perform poorly at their job. It's causing a lot of problems in their relationships with the people that they care about. It's causing them health problems, and yet they don't believe that they can get past it. They don't have this belief. They're not empowered to believe that, you know what, I can kick this thing. I can put this drinking issue behind me and I can get my life back on track. And as long as they believe that, you can tell them all the steps that you want. You can give them all the programs that you want. You can show them all the things, but they're never going to move because they don't really believe. Because they don't believe that it's possible. They don't believe that they can get there. And if that's the case, no amount of knowledge is going to matter. No amount of understanding of the 10 steps that they need to take is going to make a difference for them, because they haven't yet become convinced that they'll succeed. And how many people want to proceed with something if they believe they're simply going to fail? I don't know of many. I don't know of many people at all who will willingly step into an activity knowing that they're going to fail. Most people will avoid it vigorously. They'll stay away from it. They will avoid getting involved in anything because no one wants to look foolish. And that's not unique to one person. That's standard for everyone. People don't want to look dumb. They don't want to look incompetent. They don't want to look foolish. So you avoid all those things and you stay away from it. Why do many people not exercise in the gym? Because they don't want to look foolish. That was something that I struggled with for a long time when I first started working out in the gym. As I would go to the gym and I would be starting out with very, very little weight doing these exercises. And I'd be looking at the person next to me and they're like way ahead of me. They're lifting so much more weight. They're doing so much more. And I would just sit there feeling like, God, this is embarrassing. I can't do anything compared to these people. There's people are so far ahead of me. It's embarrassing. But that's why I got a trainer in with me to keep me going, to keep me encouraged, to keep me empowered, to keep me believing, and to just keep me on track. Because it's very easy to give up when you don't feel empowered, when you don't feel encouraged. And then the last thing is, once you teach them certain steps, once you're showing them a way, and once you are encouraging them and getting them to believe that they can achieve it, getting them to believe that success is possible, giving them that spark of hope, once you've done all that, now you offer them to engage. If you'd like to learn more about what we do, if you'd like to work with us more closely, here's the step that you can take to check us out. And once you get them there, once you get them to that point where they're like, I've learned a lot about how this works. I think I'm starting to grasp it. I think I'm starting to get the basics of it. And I believe that I can do it. I believe that this is possible. Well, now how do I reach out to you? How do I get started working with you? How do I engage with you? See how that flow works? And now we have an audience of people who are actually interested in becoming your client. Not just here to hear about how your date last night went. Not just here to hear about how the problems in your marriage are going. Not just here to hear about all your controversial political views. But are here because they want to learn about how to do something. And they want to work with you on it. They want to become your clients. They want to become people who are achieving something in their life. They want to do something that isn't just, here and consuming the latest soap opera. They actually have goals. They actually have dreams. They're actually looking to grow with their life. They're not just looking to fill their mind with the latest rounds of trash. Those are the people you want, the ones that are looking to achieve something, because those people are the ones who are interested in taking a next step. Those are the people that want to work with you. So make sure as you are doing all this, make sure as you're going through this, that you have a clear next step. This is something that I see all the time, that I struggle with some of my clients on, that I'm always pressing them on. They go out and they get opportunities to give speeches at different places. They do these things and they talk and they share and they give information, and it's motivational and it's inspiring and it's educational. And then at the end, they just stop. And I go, okay, where's the next step? How can they engage with you? How can they learn more about you? How can they take the next step? How can they learn how to keep going? Because here's the thing. Most of our problems in life are not going to be solved in a 30-minute speech. If I listen to somebody talk, that's going to be great information. It's going to help me, but it's not going to solve the problem. It's going to take more than that. If it's any kind of a significant issue in my life whatsoever, it's going to require more than listening to a quick talk. No, I'm going to have to keep going. I have to keep taking action. And if you don't provide a pathway for them to engage with you, if you don't provide a pathway for them to work with you, all of that now goes away. They never check you out. They never take a step with you. They never learn about how to work with you. And the point in doing all this is for you to be able to continue to serve and to help people, yes, but also to grow your business. So you need to provide that on-ramp for the next step. How do we take that next step? How do we engage with you? How do we talk with you? How do we start the conversation about becoming a client? Those are the things that become critically important. Those are the things that become so incredibly valuable. So what I would like to encourage you to do is, just as you are thinking about your content, as you're thinking about putting out content online, number one, stop worrying about getting the most clicks and the most followers and the big numbers. Great. If you can do it, great. But make sure that you're not building an audience of soap opera watchers. Make sure that you're not building an audience of people who are just here for the next round of drama. Because that's what we have movies for. That's what we have TV shows for, to watch those types of things. And a lot of people a lot of people become huge celebrities, for lack of a better word, online. And, I know there's this one person I'm following, and they're all talking about now all the time, how can they're getting 1 million clicks and views and engagements and all these. I'm like, going, wow, you came out of nothing off the sideline and went really fast. But everything that they're posting is just drama. It's just, I'm like, there's nothing useful here. There's nothing really good or helpful to me. It is just whatever drama-filled nonsense you're putting out now, and you're just putting out all sorts of stuff just to get attention. But it is what it is, but I have no interest in working with you. I have no interest in learning from you, because I don't need this in my life. This is nothing that's helpful to me. It's just wasting of my time. And yeah, it can be entertaining for a few minutes, but we have to learn to attract people who don't want to be entertained. We have to learn to attract people who want to grow, who want to move forward in their life, who aren't just looking for the latest. How do I come up with the latest thing that's going to amuse me for 30 minutes? No, I want something that's going to make me into a better person. I want something that's going to cause me to grow. And as a result, that's what I'm interested in. And I'm going to look for that. And I'm going to find people who can help me. I'm going to find people who could help solve my problems, help me put me in a different mental state, help me empower me, and help me believe in myself and in my dreams. And when we put out content like that and we invite people to take a next step, now we got something going. Now we have a social media following that results in clients. So if you'd like to learn more about how to build your business, if you'd like to learn more about how to build your own social media following, how you learn more about how to grow your reach in a way that actually is meaningful, not just filled with a bunch of fluffy nonsense, but actually build your reach that you're actually reaching out for clients, check out designlaunchgrow.com. Fill out an application. We would love to chat with you. We'd love to talk with you and help you build that business that you want, to build the life that you want, to have the life that you dream of. Until next time, that's it for today. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again very soon.